You're welcome back from that break. Welcome. Still watching the AM show. You know how to continue the conversation and join the conversation throughout these 3 hours. Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram will join you on TV. Send us your messages, your WhatsApps, and everything in between.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, nothing in between you and me, though. We're having a great time here on the AM show. We've got so much more.
Are we really?
Oh.
Are we really having a good time?
Hey. What did I ever do to you?
I'm joking. We're having a great time.
We are?
Yeah.
Are we really?
No. All right. So what do we have? So we're gonna go back to Takoradi.
Yes. In fact, your adventures from Takoradi captured the nation's imagination. There's more. There's more. So later today we'll bring you that. But also there have been some interesting conversations, particularly between Roland and the head of the NEIP.
Okay.
Now, this is an organization that has been set up to help people go into business. You know, their way of solving the unemployment problem. Why get a job when you can actually create a business and create jobs? So they've been doing this for quite a while. They've had quite a year. And Roland has been trying to find out from them what the plan is for next year, as everybody complains about how there are no jobs in the system, you know. So he's been talking to them about that. We'll be hearing the full interview in just a moment. But for me, the exciting thing about today is that we're going to be hearing from you, even more from you. As we started yesterday, asking about the biggest stories of the year. You know, what have been your biggest stories this year? We'd love to hear you tell us all about them. But also, we are asking a question. We've started a sentence, and we want you to finish the sentence. So, my 2020, the 2020 will be my year if. Okay, so Maps, 2020 will be your year if.
2020 will be my year if. All right, let's do this. Let's watch Roland Walker's interview. Let me think about it. And then, because 2020 will be my year if. I honestly, I don't know. I've got a lot of things I want to do. Yeah.
I know.
Wait, one of them, 2020 will be my year if I travel a little bit more. Just a tiny bit more.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Well, I've got a new show coming up. It requires somebody who likes to travel. If you're interested, we can talk about it. Shakaratons. Okay, all right. So first, let's hear Roland's conversation. He talked to John Kumah, who is the CEO of the NEIP.
Good morning to you.
Good morning, Roland. Yes,
you've been very busy.
It's been a while.
It's been a while you've been on our show.
Yes.
But when you are asked to be responsible for things, you make sure you do it well.
Definitely.
But I have to say, the NEIP, how has it gone so far? What do you think the year has been like for you?
2019 has been one of the fantastic years for the program. His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo set up the NEIP 2 years ago. Since then, we have done 2 windows of application calling for individual businesses and startups to apply. Last year, in the first year, we did 7,000. We trained all the 7,000 and we funded up to 1,350. This year, we did 12,000 when we opened the second window of application. We have trained all the 12,000 across the country, and we have funded up to 3,000 of these businesses. So if you look at in the past 2 years, we've done 19,000 of startup business training and support, and we have funded up to 4,350 of them under the Presidential Business Support Program alone. So if you add the other initiatives like the disability support, the youth in in industry, if you look at the Students Entrepreneurship Initiative, and if you want to add all of that, then we've done a lot in different areas in pushing entrepreneurship in Ghana.
So which of the ministries would you, or do you work under or closely with?
Oh, we're under the Ministry of Business Development, and our minister is Dr. Alhaji Awal Mohammed Ibrahim.
Okay. Yeah, but it would mean that the training is a means of orienting them on...
Yes, we think that one of the key ingredients required to become a successful entrepreneur is capacity building. I mean, having the requisite management skill and knowledge to be able to manage the resources that you have to achieve the profit and impact that an entrepreneur is supposed to be. So once you apply, we take the training bit very seriously, because we need to bring you up to speed and to prepare your mind to also be ready to receive the funding. The funding not necessarily from government, but also from potential investors, from your bankers, from equity investors, among many other things. So the training component is very, very important to what we do, to preparing young startups in Ghana to create jobs in the private sector.
The experiences of having the disbursing agencies like what we have with the NEIP is that sometimes paybacks become difficult.
That's true. And that is why we take our time to prepare them through training. But after we have funded them, you're supposed to be under 3 years compulsory mentoring arrangement with the program. And within that period, you're supposed to be able to repay. And that is why up till now we have over 70% of recovery rate with those we are able to support, and we apply back the recovered funds to new applicants so that we are able to reach out to more people. So we don't just give the training and funding and sit back. We continuously monitor, and sometimes some of them have challenges. Some of them can write to you that, yes, you gave me X amount of money, I have applied to my business, but I still need a little more support to be able to. And such individuals, we have the monitoring and evaluation team. They will follow up to the field to assess the situation.
So you do that based on case-by-case basis?
Case-by-case basis, yes, case-by-case basis.
How would you say the mindset of the ordinary young Ghanaian would-be entrepreneur is in trying to apply, the needed resources, either capital, human capital, but also the financial assistance that you tend to give them, to what program of action they have initiated for which you have approved is?
Well, they come in different sectors.
Okay.
They come with different expectations. And then we give everybody the opportunity to prove their ideas. And that is why once you apply, you're already on board. You go for training for free. We then engage you at the training level. In fact, we don't do the training ourselves. We work with private hubs and incubation centers across the country, including some selected university campuses as well. So we post you to these qualified entrepreneurs or business mentors who will then engage the scalability of your business, the ability to be able to create jobs, how you are able to receive these funding, or even your bookkeeping records, among many other things. So it is at that level that recommendation after the training is made to the NEIP office for government to then invest or put money into the selected businesses. That is why, even though we have trained 19,000, we have funded only 4,350. Some of the businesses is not ready to receive the funding. Some are ready, but the resources may not be enough to cover everybody. So if you apply this year and you don't get it, we encourage you to apply again the following year. And so far, the impact has been good. You cannot get another facility unless you have repaid whatever small or big amount that you receive. Then you can reapply for more funding. Okay. So
and the least funding you give is what?
The least we give is 10,000 cedis. The maximum we give is 100,000 Ghana cedis, and it's at a 10% interest rate per annum. And you have up to 2 years of repayment, and repayment periods are negotiable. So depending on what you want to do, you can do a monthly repayment or quarterly repayment or twice or once payment within a year, depending on what you want to do. Some want to go into piggery or poultry. They will require maybe 6 months to pick the birds and grow them to harvest and sell before they can make payment. But somebody who is into fashion or clothing can start repayment in a month. But they all have a moratorium of 3 months to be able to work with the funds and start the repayment.
One thing that government has been very big on, especially the Nanado administration has been very big on, is a rhetoric to be able to create jobs. And so you find that many of the initiatives have, at the end of a certain time objective, to be able to create jobs. These young entrepreneurs or the businesses, which are startups that you give the funding to, are they direct job employing agencies, or perhaps when they grow and become or they come to a certain level, then they can create jobs?
No, as part of the conditions for the support, they are required to create a minimum of 3 jobs.
Okay.
So on the average, we've done over 54,000. Some of them 54,000 jobs created if you cascade it.
Okay.
I mean, if you multiply the 19,000 by 3, you do like about 50. That's the minimum. Some of them are able to do even 50 or 40. Some do 20. There was a young man we supported who is into industrial cleaning with just 10,000. He employed 15 workers. So another young lady who is into coffee production processing. She had 9 workers. Now she has 54 workers. So when you use the 3 as the average across board, you are not far from wrong. So we believe that in the past 2 years alone, we have created nearly 60,000 jobs in the private sector and more in counting.
Okay. At the end of the day, the right sort of coordination needs to be undertaken. We have youth employment that is also doing a lot of actions, forestry and all that. What's the sort of collaboration?
Yes, so the NEIP program is one of a number of programs of government to engage young people and to empower them. But the NEIP is much more on sustainability of jobs for young people. So if you are on the YEA program, you know you have up to 2 years to exit. If you're on NAPCO, you have up to 3 years to exit. But whilst you are on, we collaborate with these institutions to ensure that you can start something on your own and receive support. My office is working with National Service Secretariat to prepare students who are on campuses to start their businesses. So during the national service period, those who are able to come up with very good innovative ideas are posted under the NEIP program to be on their own project for 1 year, whilst they receive national service allowance. So the 1 year, let's assume that you want to go into bottling or piggery or whatever business you want to do. National Service Secretariat will post you officially to NEIP. But NEIP will put you on your project under our supervision, where monthly reports are done, quarterly reports are done, and then we ensure that the 1 year that you are receiving government allowances, you are growing the little startup that you started. And after the 1 year, those who do well are further entitled to apply to the NEIP fund for scale up and more. So we are interested in collaborating with the other agencies to ensure that we synergize our efforts and complement each other to make sure we create more jobs, more sustainable jobs in the private sector.
Can I draw the conclusion then that we may end up having beneficiaries who are just revolving around the same government project actions or jobs? National Service, beneficiaries, NAPCO, who are also having a startup and trying to find their feet, etc. So we could have the same numbers being replicated.
Well, you may have somebody who has benefited at different interventions of government.
I mean simultaneously.
Simultaneously, it's possible, but there's nothing wrong with that, because if you check their capacity, assuming they need 100,000 to be able to scale up, and NEIP gives him only 20,000 or 30,000. If National Service Opportunity will add 500 cedis every month to it to take care of his labor cost, his workers, if NAPCO officials can. So those things are allowed. At the end of the day, we don't see the conflict. We think it's supposed to complement each other in terms of the benefits from different interventions.
Since you came into office and really started this, because you have oiled this up to where it is now, would you say that what we're doing by way of the entrepreneurial support for young people, we have seen that in other jurisdictions, based on maybe some interactions you've had internationally?
Yeah, in fact, it's the global trends. And even in Ghana, I mean, under the previous government, we used to have the youth enterprise support.
Why
yes, yes. And that is what has Hilda, yes, now become the National Entrepreneurship and Innovation Program. The differences were the scope and the impact. I mean, within the 8 years of the NDC, they trained 103 and funded 66 individual businesses. That's what we came to in their transfer or handing over notes to us. But we have done 19,000 in 2 years and funded over 4,000 with a minimum of 10,000 to 100,000 Ghana cedis. So it has always been there, but in terms of the scalability and the impact to reach out to the masses in order to open up the private sector for more growth and development is the changes we are seeing now. And all over the world, I mean, entrepreneurship is now the order of the day because governments all over the world know that they cannot create the jobs to absorb all the young people who need jobs. It's not possible. So it means you have to empower the private sector. And the best way to empower the private sector is through entrepreneurship and innovation, creativity, ideas, investments, and making sure that the economy is running on the wheels of the private sector. And so that is what we are pushing now, so that in very soon, some of these businesses that we are pushing now, in maybe a decade to come, they can grow to become global giants. And you know, we are not only seeking to support them up to 100,000. I believe once certain capacity is attained, there will be other interventions from government, maybe through the Exim Bank or through the GIF, GIF, and other banking interventions. This year, government is announcing about 1 billion cedis through the National Development Bank that is coming as an agency fund to focus on startup scalability. So very soon we'll be able to scale up beyond the 100,000 cedis and help more businesses. Now we are talking about the Intercontinental Free Trade Area Agreement, which is offering about 1.2 billion market opportunity for Africans, where you can export from Ghana to anywhere without, you know, import tariffs and export tariffs. And these things means that we have to support more of our private sector players so that they can take advantage of this huge market and you know, grow bigger.
You have age limits?
No, not under the NEIP. We don't have age limits. Anybody, we look at ideas. We look at impact. So that's another difference between the youth enterprise support and the NEIP. They limited the age to 35, maximum 40 years.
That's what I was asking.
Yes, and when the government came and said, no, ideas to create jobs can come from 60-year-old, 70-year-old.
Can even from existing business holders.
Exactly.
Who still want to create some other line of businesses to create jobs. Yes. But you need to meet the criteria of...
Yes, you need to meet the criteria of scalability, innovation, impact.
Okay. One thing that has permeated the world of small-scale enterprises and partnerships is technology. Technology seems to have permeated that.
Exactly.
While we may not have the resources in terms of the technical know-how, etc., it's something that's growing. How is the NEIP trying to incorporate that when it's trying to do the calls, etc.?
Yeah, so
perhaps maybe planning for another.
Yeah, so one of the key components of the program is the innovation, and the innovation bit is the technology.
Right.
So when you engage us, that is the aspect we look out for. What are you doing differently? How is technology advancing your idea? How unique is your idea from the ordinary? Somebody can come to you with trading, but the basis for the trading is so much technologically based that it's different from the ordinary going to buy. You understand? Somebody has set up a platform called donkomi.com, and he's importing African and especially Ghanaian goods and services into Chinese market. And all he's doing is donkomi.com. is buying people's ideas or people's products and selling in another country to a large market, and it's doing very well. So yes, we are looking at how technology is making a difference in whatever anybody is doing. In Ghana, we know we have Kente, we have all kinds of things which are needed outside, because almost every university in the world during their graduation would love to have Kente in their ceremonial clothes. So how can you use technology to ensure that somebody in Portugal, a university in Spain, can have access to the Ghanaian Kente as part of their ceremonial? I mean, the US, we saw how one day the US Congress was all wearing Kente. So yes, technology is critical to promoting everything that we are doing. Now we are talking about eating local rice. So we are talking about quality milling. You have to have a rice that meets standards. And all that can be achieved through application of technology.
At what point in time would you say you are different from the funding or facility approving agencies who ask a lot of collateral or want the applicants to meet a lot of benchmarks before they give them some funding?
Yes, first of all, we are different in so many sense. If you apply a facility from a bank, first of all, the bank is not interested in training you. He's interested in your ability to repay. So we are interested in training you first, preparing you. Secondly, we don't need you to provide any collateral, but you may have to bring a guarantor who believes that you'll be responsible in applying the funding, and to also help government to monitor the repayment. Secondly, we are not giving to you beyond 10% per annum, which, you know, the average interest rate commercial in Ghana is over 20%, 25%. So, you know, but of course the focus of this program is to prepare you to go into the commercial market. That's why we ask them to repay. 2 reasons: so that the program will be sustainable, but most importantly, to prepare people to be able to work with a soft funding source, learn how to work and repay, so that when later you are borrowing from a bank, you have the culture of taking and paying, and it helps you to grow faster.
Not taking the money and go and buy a nice car.
No, that will not happen. House. Yes.
Okay, but going forward, you have a certain strategy plan or strategic plan, and what does it comprise?
The objective or the vision of His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo is to engage every young Ghanaian and empower them economically. We know that we have achieved something, but it's not enough. So going forward, we want to scale it up. We are looking at how we can create much more competition, especially at schools level, high schools and university levels. We want to change the paradigm of job creation, especially in the mindset of young people that they have to finish university, take their CVs around and go and look for jobs. No. We want to form entrepreneurship clubs. In fact, we have already formed, but we want to deepen it, reach out to more students, and give them some small funding whilst they are even in school to start something small. And then the culture of, now I believe I can start. Now I believe I want to work for myself. We want that culture deepen among Ghanaian youth so that we can begin to see lots of self-drive and initiative for startups in Ghana. That's the objective, to achieve among young people in this country.
Okay. Now, agriculture is a big thing, especially in the plans of government. And we've just recently, you mentioned the related issue about rice. It means that we're producing, there's a glut.
Yes.
So it means that it has to feature in many of the related programs.
Yes.
How big is it featuring for the plan?
Agriculture is critical. And you cannot do much in modern agriculture without industrialization. So one of the key interventions that we are doing here, I mean, if you can, let me just show you this miniature tractor. This is one thing that we are trying to bring under the Youth in Industry program. We are hoping to set up an assembling plant in Ghana. And we have already gotten an Indian bank support facility of about $30 million to help this project to come on. The idea is to encourage young people to go into agriculture. Beyond this, we have the greenhouse facilities where we are modernizing production of vegetables in Ghana, and so many things. And now that we are setting up so many factories under one district, one factory, you have to give a sustainable raw material program. And that can be done through agriculture, mass-scale commercial agriculture. And so we are also encouraging a lot of young people look at the mechanized side of agriculture, have access to it, and all that kind of thing. So we are very mindful of the linkages between agriculture and industrialization, and we are also helping to achieve that.
Now, saying that, how does this and which other ones focus or become key based on the observation you've made with the applicants, the sectors that tend to feature more?
Agriculture and agribusiness is always the highest. Then it's followed by ICT, that's information technology and communication. Then it's also followed by trade and industry, I mean commerce. And then you can have the fashion and drinks and beverages and cosmetics and herbal and all kind of things.
In that order?
In that order, yes. Yes, the tourism and environment, among others.
This year, we've seen, we're just coming to a close, and we've seen a vibrant resurgence of having a program in which we have people of African descent coming into the country, and we call it the Year of Return, etc. Of course, the commentary that has been made is that we needed to make it more comprehensive, but it's a very good start. If you look at the numbers that have come in.
Huge.
Yeah. How do we hope to ride on some of these? Make sure we do some technological transfer, or perhaps some benchmarking somewhere in which these young people can look up to some of these experienced people of Ghanaian origin, people of the diaspora who would want to do some transfer of a sort of knowledge.
Yes, yes. I think one of the initiatives of President Nana-Addo that must be commended highly is this Year of Return. And it has caught up so much with the world that now Ghana is the center of attraction. Everybody wants to. It's like it has become a pilgrimage for for the diaspora.
Yes, especially people of African descent.
Yes. I was saying, yes, not only Caribbean, even in Europe, the Surinams and all those people, when you meet them, even in Europe, they believe that they are from Ghana. Now, every African descent, or African American, or they all believe they want to come to Ghana. And when they come, the testimonies, especially when they visit the castles, there is something much more than just a trip. And I'm very happy at how His Excellency Nana-Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo has set up a whole diasporan office at the Office of the Presidency to assist them when they come. You see, they come, first of all, for the spiritual fulfillment, but also with the mindset to contribute to building our country. And the vision is clear. His Excellency says that let's build Ghana beyond aid. So once they come, they will also identify opportunities where they can equally contribute to help build a country using the local resources and capacity that we have in our country, and how they can also contribute. So the vision is clear, Ghana beyond aid. And beyond the Ghana beyond aid, if they want to come to Ghana to make investments, I mean, one district, one factory is there. If they have resources they want to put into any identified area, government is ready and prepared to support them. NEIP is there to help those entrepreneurs who want to start something with a number of interventions. So they are welcome home, and we are looking up to them to take advantage of the numerous opportunities that our country is offering, the peace. And we believe that they will also come and contribute to the lasting peace that we have in our country.
Well, quite innovative. The last time I visited a number of string shops of what they call now the China Mall. I believe you've seen them.
Yes.
And now there are no middlemen. They are importing the thing themselves. They're doing it in large retail stores, which are the normal thing these days in the developed world. And we've seen that springing up over the last 15 years in Ghana. And some of the traditional artifacts, or the things that we use, a little mat with some bit of quality, maybe clothing around it, and then it gives a certain texture or push, etc., have been done at those places, just using the little bit of machinery. How are we making sure that our applicants, after they've benefited, they use the right technology in trying to improve on what they're producing?
Exactly. So that's the whole essence of the training part, where we first engage you on what you do. Branding of your product is extremely critical. You can have the best product. If it's not properly branded to meet international standards, the market will fail you. So we are very conscious about the need to compete on a global stage. I mean, when we are training our applicants, we are not only looking at their local market, we are also looking at their international market and other potential markets out there and how we can scale them up. So packaging and branding and technological use of methods to improve the quality of their products are always integrated into the program and in our engagements with them.
Your people are located across Ghana?
Across Ghana, yes.
Okay. So you do periodic visits yourself?
Yes, I'm all over the place. I go everywhere. And not only me, we have a team that visits everywhere, but we work in partnership with private hubs who are scattered across the country. So every region of the country, we have a private partner who takes the beneficiaries from us, they take them through the training and they report to us. And then the M&E department will follow up for confirmations before disbursements are done. So I go everywhere to make sure I also see for myself and experience the actions that we carry out.
Doing.
Yes.
How would you rate so far, 2 years, the beneficiaries, the work that they've done? And then where can we find some of their end products?
Yes, they've done extremely well. And there are video documentaries all over, even on our websites, and it's always available. We can share with you too. We keep updating individual testimonies on how NEIP support came and transformed their business and gave them extra opportunities of networking. And you know, usually because they are large numbers, when you are posted to a center, you get to meet other startups in your ecosystem that you can share sometimes ideas or even market opportunities with. So they're all over the country. We believe the impact has been big, but we are still working to make it bigger because we know that in order to achieve the Ghana Beyond Aid that we are looking for, we have to empower many, many, many more of our young people to become successful entrepreneurs in the country.
How's next year looking like?
Next year looks bright. It's also an election year. So we are hoping for a second endorsement of His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo so that all these good things he has started in 2-3 years can be scaled up to do much more for the country and even beyond. And I think that in terms of the entrepreneurship space, Ghana has also received funding support from the World Bank. And part of it is also coming to scale up the entrepreneurship ecosystem. Just like what the president has started, they are also coming to contribute to scale it up for entrepreneurs. So I believe a lot of good opportunities for young startups in Ghana, and I hope we are going to see many, many more interventions in 2020.
I know you were interested in the mainstream politics as well.
Oh, yes.
What's your personal interest now? Is it still high?
Very, very high. We are politicians, so we always keep our political ambitions high.
Okay. The last time you competed, was it in Ejuso?
Ejuso, yes, yes. But we are yet to open the...
I know. It should be in March.
It should be in April. They said we'll vote in April, so maybe they may open hopefully January or latest February for people to formally announce if they are interested.
You may still give it a go.
I may if they open it. but it's not open yet. So,
of course. That's very true. But if one thing excites you about what you have done or supervised over the last 2 years, what would it be? What gives you the joy for you to be doing what you do?
The testimonies of beneficiaries. And I want to thank His Excellency the President for the privileged opportunity. Sometimes, even though the effort and the support is from the President, because you are the face of it and you lead it, people pour out their heart to you as if you have made a difference in their lives. And sometimes, you know, the confidence to see a bright idea and say, I will help you scale up, gives me a lot of joy. And I think that a lot of people have shown appreciation to His Excellency the President for such a huge interventions in their private businesses.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, my brother. It's a pleasure always talking to you.
Yeah, I'm grateful for the opportunity. But that's been the interaction with our Chief Executive for the National Entrepreneurship and Innovation Plan. And it's been some great work they've been doing over the last 2 years. But of course, next year is a big one. It's an election year, but more so making sure they deepen it and hopefully, as the Chief Executive will say, the appointing authority would also have another mark of expanding and consolidating whatever has been done so far. But for the beneficiaries and what their innovations have been, it is why the whole setup is there to make sure that they deepen entrepreneurship and bring out those ideas, those innovations out to the market space. Well, we hope that you enjoy the interaction, but please make sure that you follow us up through My Joy Online TV as we put the upload on our channel on YouTube, and then also get interactive Facebook Joy News on TV and Twitter Joy News on TV. Well, that'll be it for now. We're taking a break. We'll be right back.
Yes, we are taking a break. We will be right back with even more. We're asking people to complete the sentence, 2020 will be my year if. Think about your answer. We'll be back after these.